Do you remember when I told you in the introduction to the book in the first video that this book will make you able to control, harness your relationships, and help you reach your goals? The fourth, fifth, and sixth habits of the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, will enable you to do this. So prepare for you the best cup of coffee or your drink that you love and focus with me. If you are new to this channel, I'm reading a book and I'm giving you its benefits. If you are looking to reap the incredible benefits of reading without actually having to read, subscribe. Of course, as you know, when Stephen wrote this book, the purpose of this book was not to discuss the art of dealing with human relations, such as the book of How to Win Friends and Influence People, which speaks only about the art of dealing with human relationships. The 7 Habits is intended to teach you how to be effective in every aspect of your life. So have you ever thought that relationships should be productive and beneficial? Most people think that the most important thing in a relationship is that it is stable, has no problems, and lasts long. Stephen says this is beautiful, but it has to be fruitful and useful. I mean, your relationship with your father, mother, brother, or sister must be beneficial, and your relationship with your partner specifically. It is not limited to being a person with whom you share all the details of your life and form a family only, and the matter is over. Your partner should help you develop yourself, improve your situation, and achieve your dreams. And you do these things for him, too. Steve said, I'll give you 3 habits that will help you make your relationships useful, whether it's personal relationships or professional relationships. But you must take into account that anyone you build a relationship with, especially your partner, you don't have to be identical or the same. You have the same ideas and the same taste in eating and dressing, and the same interests, the same activities, the same personality. The important thing is to be in agreement despite the lack of similarity between you. Without agreement, the relationship will not be healthy and stable, and if the relationship is unhealthy and unstable, it won't last long, and therefore this relationship is not a fruitful relationship. Let's start with the 4th habit. In this habit, Stephen talked about 6 ways to benefit from any relationship. If it's a personal relationship, you'll learn how to achieve agreement, and if it's a professional relationship, you'll learn how to make deals. The first of these methods is the method of gain-gain. You win and the other wins. This is a method based on cooperation and not on the spirit of competition like the second method, which is a gain-loss method. I win and you lose, and Stephen said this method does not exist except in competitive spaces where there are many comparisons. If your intellectual perspective is competitive or based on comparisons, who is better than who, you will always use the win-lose method. And he said that this is certainly not healthy in relationships. And he sent a message to every father and mother: be careful to create a competitive spirit among your children and do not try to open any door to comparisons. Any comparison will create this intellectual perspective in your children. He will always think about how he wins or how she wins in order to beat her sister or to beat his brother. As well as work managers, beware of creating a competitive space among employees, and never think that you will get effectiveness or productivity among employees if you create a spirit of competition and comparisons between them. Try to build between them the spirit of cooperation and not the spirit of competition. Parents, managers, beware of creating a competitive spirit because it kills effectiveness. And Stephen says the win-lose style is sometimes obligatory in football matches or sports activities in general, or competitions and others. In this case, it can be acceptable, but in your personal and professional relationships, never resort to this method. It will destroy the relationship. And unlike the method of loss-gain, I lose and sacrifice in order for you to win, and people who live on this pattern and on this method, it is a very easy morsel for people who use the method of gain-loss. They always take advantage of them, and the problem that those who use the method of sacrifice think that this method is healthy for the relationship. He said this is wrong. It harms the relationship more than it benefits it, and it harms people who use this method healthfully because they suppress feelings of betrayal and feelings of sadness, and the misfortune is that these feelings are not buried for life. Rather, they appear, but appear in the form of physical illnesses or in the form of psychological diseases such as depression. The method of loss and sacrifice in order to win others, not the ideal method for effectiveness. And sure, sometimes you have to sacrifice in order for this relationship to survive, but don't use it as a permanent style. Try as much as possible not to use it at all. And after these three methods comes the very malicious style, which is the method of loss-loss. I don't win and you don't win. I don't rejoice, and you don't rejoice. About this method, Stephen tells a story about a wife who filed a divorce lawsuit against her husband. She won the case, and she will get the half of the husband's property. He says when the husband lost the case and knew that he lost, so he sold all his properties from real estate, cars, bonds and others for only $25. So the wife took $12.50 and he took $12.50 as well, so that he doesn't lose alone. This is the method of loss. And he said the fifth method is a little strange. This method is called gain. Through it, I care how I win, and I don't care about anyone else. And a lot of people focus on themselves and focus on achieving their benefits. And he doesn't care about others if they lose or win. Stephen actually said that it's a method that brings you effectiveness, but not effectiveness between relationships. In your personal relationships and professional relationships, you cannot use this method. Stephen said the best method is gain or no agreement. Either you benefit and I benefit, or we don't agree on this process at all. Suppose, for example, you and your partner agree that you will go to a specific restaurant or travel to a specific city, and you try to choose a place that suits you both. You're trying to make the gain. If you can't achieve this, you have to cancel the idea completely. Exactly, this is the meaning of the method of gain or no agreement, literally. So the conclusion of the fourth habit is to try to achieve agreement and mutual benefit as much as possible. When you decide to benefit from any relationship, you should use the fifth habit, in which he says try as much as possible to understand others rather than try to make them understand you. And he said suppose you had some problems in your eyes and you decided to go to the ophthalmologist, and after the doctor listened to your complaint, then he took off his glasses and gave them to you. Then he told you to wear them, and he said, please, I've been wearing them for 10 years and it really benefited me, and you can keep these glasses. I have other glasses at home. So you put the glasses on your eyes, but they made the problem worse, so you told him it was horrible and you can't see anything. The doctor asked you what's wrong. It's good with me. He said to you, try harder. And you said that I tried, but everything is dark and I cannot see clearly. And he said to you, well, try more. Try to think positively. You said, doctor, I can't see anything. He rebuked you, saying, what an ungrateful person, after all I've done to help you. Stephen says, what is your chance of returning to this doctor? Of course you'll never go back to him. What happened in the example between you and the doctor is that the doctor represents the person who always tries to make you understand him and tries to make you see life through his intellectual perspectives. Be careful not to be like this ophthalmologist. Try as much as possible to understand others well, and if you always try to understand others, in this way you will always reach the justification and the solution. So if you want to build the agreement that is in the fourth habit and achieve mutual benefit in any relationship, try to understand others well, and think about the people you rush to judge. And if you take into account their personalities and the circumstances surrounding them at that moment, and their psychological state that day, and all the experiences that they went through previously, you could not have rushed to judge them negatively. This is the true understanding of others. The sixth and final habit of the collective victory. It is the habit of supporting others. Stephen said there is a difference between helping and supporting. Helping is to help you with your problem or help you reach your goal. As for supporting, it is to treat the goal that you want to achieve as my goal, and the problem that you want a solution to as my problem, and live what you live and think about what you think. This is supporting. Stephen said once you embrace supporting as an intellectual perspective, not helping, you won't have the choice whether to help him or not. You will see the issue as your own, as if the problem is yours. And when you support others honestly, be sure they'll support you. Supporting is that I live in your situation, and I don't want anything from you in return, because I see your problem as my problem. And if you solve it, as if you solved my problem. This is the real supporting. These 3 habits together will make you effective at the level of relationships. Your relationships will be very fruitful and valuable. Until here we have explained all the habits, and there is only one habit left, and it's the habit of equilibrium. And this habit I'll explain it the next week. A habit that you will like very much. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more great content. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family, and leave us a comment below to let us know your thoughts. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in the next video.